I wanted to draw a picture that describes effectively the false left-right paradigm. The Republican Party props up the Democratic Party, and the Democratic Party props up the Republican Party. By itself, a single-party system will fall over. But if you take the two-party systems and you lean them up against each other, this is basically the arch. Their force going together keeps them together and makes it become a very strong, stable platform on which they can build their hierarchical New World Order system. So the current two-party system has been dominated and bought up and controlled by the elite that sits atop it. Now, the elite with a one-party system would not be balanced on top of one party. They would be subject to being toppled. But you put the two parties up against each other, they form a royal arch. And now it's very hard to separate those two because they're leaning up against each other. And so Republicans attack Barack Obama. And then the Democrats attack John McCain. And then the population who's down here is trained to see John McCain as representing them personally, as being their daddy, of where their personal power comes from, of their camp, their brand name, their brand of soda. And so this is a controlled paradigm. And really, it's one unit supporting themselves and containing revolution so that the people who are down here never learn that there is a world outside of this controlled paradigm. We are locked within the left-right paradigm, and then it becomes this huge pageant, this huge distraction where we analyze every facet of the two political parties, never realizing they themselves are simply a front or puppets for a larger power structure. And then they can limit the scope of differences, which, if you look at it, there's almost no difference between the two, instead of getting the people to look outside the box at the wider world.
Welcome everybody to the September 12th, 2022 edition of the Nightly News right here on TruthRadioShow.com. I'm your host, Dan Bidondi. What's going on, everybody in the chat room? What's up, Valerie? She's our chat room moderator. And what's up, everybody else that's joining the live chat? And if you're watching, guys, we have a live chat going on. If you sign on to your YouTube account, you can take part in the live chat. So much to talk about. 25 people shot over a bloody weekend in Chicago. California governor reduces penalties for pedophilia. Yeah, says, people who commit sodomy with a child to have reduction of penalties and prison time. Sickening, man. And they're supporting pedophiles. So much other news to talk about more. A lot of Second Amendment stuff, crazy stuff going on, man. And that's how they are. These people, they support pedophiles. You know what I mean? And it's disgusting. Well, it's not. Pedophiles support each other. So we got a bunch of pedophiles that run this country, man, and the world like that. You know what I mean? So I want to thank ShakeandWakeRadio.com for carrying the show, and BeforeIt'sNews.com. Awesome alternative media sites, guys. And if you missed Friday's show, we have a brand new spiritual warfare show, guys. It's at 10 o'clock Eastern time now, every Friday night. It's me and Brian Reese. We're just like tag teaming the show, man. We got a great show coming up next week. But this week here, we just passed for Friday here. We had this awesome show, Project Stargate Exposed, exposing the CIA's sinister plots, man. Project Stargate, I should say. It led to so many other operations where they recruited a bunch of people anybody that claimed they were psychic, they would try to use like a form of out-of-body experiences, whatever, remote viewing, like a remote viewing to spy on the enemy and all that, which led to other sinister things, and Stargates and portals. We got it all, but if you missed it, guys, it's on the channel here. So I want to know what you all think of the Queen, yeah. So, of course, the news of the weekend overshadowed the 9/11, you know what I mean? Overshadowed the 9/11 that the Queen died, and they put her pedophile son now as a king. So these four criminals have murdered more people than different religions, countries, and races than any human being within the last decades. There's further their satanic New World Order agenda, hoarding wealth and resources while controlling puppet politicians to enslave humanity with false worldwide security through terrorism and propaganda. So that's the king now, Prince Charles there, and his deceased mother, Queen Elizabeth there. And also there's the Pope and that guy that nobody knows about, that guy, in the priest outfit there, that's the Jesuit general. Okay, then you got which is the Black Pope, they call him. So you got, Pope Francis is Jesuit himself. So you got these four people that literally, they were like the echelon of murder, okay? And right under these people, you got the George Soros, you got the, Henry Kissinger's and all these people. This is like the cream of the crop when it comes to the top of the pyramid. And this was the other day when the Queen passed away. It said, today we mourn all the stolen, violated, and traumatized lives who were affected and destroyed during Queen Elizabeth II's reign. Today is a brutal reminder that criminals will be honored while entire populations and societies bear the battle scars of colonial genocide, violence, invasion, religious persecution, and white supremacy. And I don't go into white supremacy stuff too much, but it's true, especially with the Royal Crown there, guys. These people are the most racist people on the planet. They believe in their bloodline. They marry with their own family. They believe in their bloodline, that their bloodline is better than everybody else's. And it's a sinister thing. It really is. Sickening. It really is. And they get revered. Like when the Queen died, right? It's all over the TV. It's going to be all over the TV probably for the next couple of weeks. You know what I mean? They're going to have the ceremonies and all that stuff. And it's going to be all over live broadcasts, all over our television stations. And mind you, I think, if I'm not correct, I think 1776, didn't we, this year here? I think that was the year we declared our independence from England. I don't know. I'm not too sure. You know what I mean? And didn't we have a war in 1776 and also in 1812 to tell the British to go pound sand? And that's not reflecting the good people here, and I'm sorry, in England today. I'm not talking about that, but back then, you know what I mean? It was a different story back then. But I think, 1776, it was the year we declared we're not bound to no king or queen or anything like that. Nor do we give a rat's butt, okay, what these people do. But the world's got to revere it, put her on this big pedestal. Oh, she was such a great humanitarian. Oh, we got a video to show you in a little while, too, during the break. I'll tell you, man, it is so mind-boggling. It really is. That when these people die, okay, the whole world stops to revere these people, these social engineers, that literally destroy humanity. You know what I mean? Like, they are responsible for destroying half this planet. You know what I mean? And they get revered as these great heroes and everything else. It is utterly sickening. It really is. And if people only knew the sinister stuff that this queen was involved with, you know what I mean? And, here's the thing. Like Jesus says, let the dead bury the dead. And she's dead. She's paying her penalties with God. So I'm not going to criticize the woman, okay, plain and simple. But while she was alive on this planet, guys, don't fall for the stuff that, she was on TV. Oh, she talked about Jesus and all that. Remember, these elite guys, they don't believe in the same Jesus as the Bible. They don't believe in the same God as the Bible. They'll go around, oh, God bless and everything else all day long, but it's not the God of this Bible. All right, plain and simple. It's a different God. Trust me when I tell you, man. These people are Luciferians. Bottom line. Oh, man, it's sickening, though, but let's get into this news here. Governor Gavin Newsom, he's the governor of California, signs a bill reducing penalties. You got this right? Reducing penalties for sodomy with minors. And if you don't know what sodomy is, I'm not going to say it on the air, even though I could, but I'm not going to do it. Go look it up in the dictionary. It's a nasty, disgusting sexual act with a child. So, somebody in California goes and does this to a child. You're going to get reduced penalties. So, Governor Gavin Newsom signed a controversial bill into law Friday that will give judges greater discretion to decide whether adults who commit sodomy with minors should be placed on California's sex registry offenders list. You can't get any worse than that, okay, when it comes to sexual stuff with a child, right? Penetrating the child's rear end, okay? That's what it is, all right? They want to do what, okay? And the bill, which passed a Democratic-led legislature last week, created a firestorm of proponents said that its main purpose was to end discrimination against the LGBT adults who have oral or anal sex with minors who claim to be a consenting to sexual activity. Okay, just here they go. They throw the LGBT in this. That's what they do. So you can't criticize them. So it's discrimination because a guy wants to have anal sex with a little young boy. That's what they're saying. And there should be reduced penalties because it's the LGBT rights. And you know what the funny thing is? Because a lot of people in the LGBT community don't agree with this stuff. But however, you know what I mean? This is disgusting. It really is. This is just unbelievable disgusting, man. So State Senator Scott Wiener, this guy's always been in the news with this stuff, who introduced this legislation. Yeah, Scott Wiener. You can't make this stuff up, man. Yeah, all right, you just can't make this stuff up, man. So State Senator Scott Wiener, who introduced the legislation, said in a statement on social media that the new law would put an end to blatant discrimination against young LGBT people engaged in consensual sexual activity. It's appalling that in 2020, California continues to discriminate against LGBTQ people by mandating the LGBTQ young people to be placed on a sex offenders registry list in situations where straight people aren't required to be placed on that list. This is this moron right here. Watch this. Okay. Pedo. No, we're not supposed to call them pedophiles no more. These people want you to call them MAPs, minor attracted persons. Yeah. No, I don't think so. They're pedophiles. So this is this idiot, Scott Wiener. Look at him. He looks like a damn pedophile himself. And so he's over there. Oh, yeah. So it's discrimination. Okay. All right. Here's the thing. All right. It doesn't matter if you're... I don't know, man. It's just so backwards, man. Okay, it doesn't matter if it's gay or straight. It's not the situation. The fact that a young boy or girl, okay, is getting the anals penetrated, okay, doesn't matter gay or straight, okay, that's still wrong. And you not only put on a registry list, I think you should be shot, to tell you the truth. That's my opinion. I think you should be shot right in the face. That's my opinion. And that's me being nice, okay? If you sit there how could you even get an erection with a child like that? You know what I mean? Like, you deserve a double-barrel 12-gauge shotgun shoved right in the middle of your throat, right up in your brain. That's what you deserve, and that's being nice, man. But yeah, me just saying that will be discrimination. Ugh. And proving again he's a champion for pedophiles when it's hard. Governor Newsom signed Senate Bill 145, ending discrimination against the LGBT young people in California's sex registry list. Thank you for seeing through my QAnon lies about this equality legislation, my stem. This is so stupid. It really is. But yeah, this piece of trash is governing, man. He's literally destroyed California. Him and all these other people, man. And California used to be one beautiful state. God's got to have God's got to have his way with these people. I'll tell you that right now. And these people think they can run around because, they have political power. And how in the hell, okay, it just baffles me. How are people letting these people get away with this? How? And I'll say, I said 1,000,000 times and I'll say it again. If the Founding Fathers came alive today, there would be a shooting war with the government. Plain and simple. 95% of politicians would be shot or hung. Or both. That's what they would do. All right, plain and simple. Why ain't the people rising up and kicking the snot out of these people and throwing them in jail? And if anybody gets in the way, you put them in jail too. Doesn't matter police or not. Yeah, you get in the way, you put them in jail too and replace them too. Why ain't people doing that? But no, we got to let a bunch of damn pedophiles run this whole country and this world at that. You know what I mean? And the queen, these people, these pedophiles die and they get rewards. Oh my God. Headline news for weeks on end, interrupting your television broadcasts to show funerals of these pedophiles and these world elite. Yeah. But yeah, here in California. And Valerie, chat room moderator, she lives in California. God bless you, Valerie, man. Yeah, God bless her. She lives right in the heart of Los Angeles. God bless you, Valerie, that's for sure. This is disgusting. So once again, Governor Gavin Newsom signs a bill reducing the penalties for sodomy. I like to redo this bill because it's not just a registry list. There's other stuff involved in this bill too. So basically, it would tell the judge to go lenient. So basically, if you rape a child, all you have to do is say, hey, I'm LGBTQ. All right, we got to reduce the sentence. Slap on the hand. All right, out you go. This is where it's called. We said this years ago. I remember 2009 when I got on radio. I said this was going to happen, man. They're slowly but surely reducing, the penalty and the crime of pedophilia. And they're going to make it legal. And states like this, they're going to make it legal, guys. And it's just about becoming legal in California. And you got doctors out there, politicians, Salon.com, and many other publications to say, oh, they were born that way. And they don't call them pedophiles. How dare you? They're minor attracted persons. Because you don't want to offend them. Oh, I'll offend them, all right. Come near my kid. I'll go, well, yeah. You're not going to have to worry about going to jail. That's all I have to say. My fist will go clear through your face and your head and the back of your skull. Make no mistake about that. I take that as a threat and a promise. I'm telling anybody out there who's a pedophile. Come near my kid or any kid on my site. I don't care if it's a person I don't even know. Go near a child, okay? I'll plant my fist straight through your face. And I'll rip your penis right off. I'll shove it right down your throat, literally. And I'm not even joking. I'm literally rip it off and literally shove it down your throat. Make no mistake about that. When it comes to kids, man, nothing in the world pisses me off more than this, right there. These bunch of damn pedophile scum, man. And the sick part is, why ain't people doing anything about this? These people should be, oh man, castrated. That's what they should be. So I got to switch gears here. So Drag Festival drops kids event as sponsors pull out. So this drag, we actually reported on this, yeah. Multiple key sponsors have pulled out support from Pride Festival in Boise, Idaho, after discovering it would feature a drag kid celebration, and the event has now been canceled as a result of that. So in a social media statement, Zions Bank had said it supported the Pride events because they were an important part of the support for the LGBTQ employees and allies who are representatives of efforts to foster inclusive, diverse, and equitable workplace in the community. But the bank continued, however, we committed our sponsorship this year's Boise event, and we are unaware that the event is activity involving children and minors. And since learning this, they pulled their sponsorship, plain and simple. And that was one of the biggest sponsors, Zions Bank. So basically, they have employees, all right, that are LGBT, gay and lesbian, right? So they say, we're going to support these, our employees. We're going to support the LGBT community, right? No problem. We're going to support it, right? And they sponsored the event and all that. Well, when they found out, whoa, hold on. There's kids involved? There's minors? What? We're not going to do that. So Zions Bank and many other big sponsors said, no, we don't think so. Because this is nothing more than anything. Is something. If you ask most people in the LGBT, and I'm not sticking up for them, yes, most people in the community, they say the same thing, okay? The people I know who are gay and all that, they say leave the kids the hell out of it. You know what I mean? And people don't get this, you know what I mean? And the media makes it sound off like, like this has got so much support. It doesn't. They are grooming children. That's what's going on. Giving kids vasectomies now and tell them, oh, yeah, you don't need your parents' authority or anything like that. We're going to cut your wiener off. You know what I mean? This is just utterly disgusting, man. These poor kids don't even have, like, let them grow old. If you're an adult, I say this all the time, too. If you're an adult, you do what you want. You know what I mean? Plain and simple. You're going to have to face God for that, but you do what you want. You know what I mean? It's none of my business. I'm not going to judge you. But when when it goes to kids here, this is where I got to step in and say, hey, leave these kids alone. Because this makes me so angry. It really does. But I'm glad, at least these corporate companies, they're pulling out for that. You know what I mean? And the move is part of developing a reaction to the parent grooming of children at various LGBT events, festivals, and programs across the United States. Just days earlier, a school board in Florida refused to recognize an LGBT month for its students. And people say, oh, that's discrimination. No, they had no problem recognizing these events. But when you have children involved, of course they're going to be mad about that. I got friends in Providence that, lived in Providence, and they said during these LGBT festivals, a lot of sexual stuff goes on. People walk around literally nude with the junk hanging out and all that disgusting stuff. Imagine the kids being, which they are. Yeah, so people say, no, all right, enough is enough, all right? Leave the kids alone. And it'll be just the same, okay, before people start yelping on, that side. Oh, what about the straight people? And it'll be just the same. Okay, if it's a guy and a girl walking around naked and doing things like that, they would just be much as perverts as you would for walking around with rainbows all over you, flashing your junk. You know what I mean? It's just the same. Leave the kids out of sexual stuff, plain and simple. I don't care if it's gay, straight, trigender, transgender. Leave the kids the hell alone. Bottom line, that's just utterly disgusting. Can't say that enough. And I guess the parade itself says, while the vast majority of our sponsors and supporters have voiced their support for the Boise Festival and Drag program, we have made a very difficult decision to postpone the performance due to the increasingly safety concerns. The health and well-being of kids, their parents, and the attendees of the festivals are a priority. And the kids who are going to perform have the enthusiastic support of the community. No, they don't. In support of the consent of the parents. And those parents should be shot, plain and simple. We support the kids 1,000% in their choice to be themselves. It's not being themselves, it's you people grooming them. I'm going to say that too. You know what I mean? I like putting this on. No. There is no support. It's you people who love to groom children, you pedophiles. Yeah, switching gears. Yeah, so that that's just they canceled the event, I guess. So, and they shouldn't. It shouldn't be anything to do with kids. So I hate even bringing this woman's name up, Kim Kardashian. Okay, they have this show. I've never even seen it. I heard there's some show that's going on for 10 years, the Kardashians or whatever. But yeah. Bunch of trash, Hollywood trash. So Kim Kardashian, the fall of Roe versus Wade, really scary. Gay marriage is in jeopardy as well as surrogacy. So, as in the long discussion with Interview magazine reality show personality, Kim Kardashian claimed that gay marriage and even surrogacy of children are now under threat of being outlawed in the wake of the recent Roe versus Wade decision. All right, number one, okay, why I brought this up, I have no idea. Okay, number one, nobody gives a rat's butt, okay, what you think, Kim Kardashian. Go back to your dumb, trashy reality show. Who cares what your opinion is? You know, you couldn't even add 2 + 2, you damn dingbat. So, yeah, keep your crap to yourself, you and your Hollywood scumbags. So, gay marriage is in jeopardy as well as surrogacy. Good. Let it be. Good. So, court rules that New York can't shut down Christian adoption agency that prefers mother-father for kids. So, this was in the news for a while. We reported on this. This court in New York tried to shut down this Christian adoption agency. So, the Christian adoption agency, they have priorities, basically, rules that the parents have to follow, the would-be parents. And it's like, you got to be the biblical standard. Okay, they can follow the Bible. One man, one woman. That's the way it is, and the First Amendment protects that because it's a Christian organization, you know what I mean? So, and they try to shut it down, which is discrimination. They say, well, there's discrimination against the LGBT. No. Don't flip it that way. Anything that violates your religious conviction is been for the entire part of this country, right? It's been a violation of your religious rights, you know what I mean? Because First Amendment, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. Then it goes on with the free speech and everything else. So, no. Congress has no right, or not even Congress. So, if Congress can't do that, the state of New York can't. Nobody can. So, if a religious organization says, hey, you know, we're going to follow biblical standards, then guess what? There's not a damn thing you can do about it. The court had to rule in favor of the Constitution. So this Christian adoption agency that prefers mothers and fathers for kids. A traditional biblical type family setting. And there was a federal court issued an order Wednesday based on Tuesday's decision to permanently preventing the state from New York from shutting down faith-based adoption provider targeted for religious beliefs. And a court issued a temporary order back in October, 2 years ago. And a U.S. Court of Appeals in 2nd District ruled in favor of Hope. It's called New Hope Family Services, represented by Alliance Defender Freedom Attorney, and sent the case back to the district court for the further proceedings. And long story short, the court said, yeah, to the state of New York, you're not going to do that. It's called religious rights. Don't like it, get the hell out of the country. You can't tell a Christian organization that you know what I mean, you can't do what they want. You know what I mean? They have the right to follow the biblical, because God, in the Bible says that, you're supposed to follow the laws of the land until, it violates your religious conviction. So which is, I call it biblical conviction, not religious, but yeah. So when your biblical conviction is violated, that's when you're supposed to obey God over man. So yeah, the state of New York and anybody that doesn't like it could go straight to hell, plain and simple. So Nick Nolte, woke summer movie box office collapses 21%. So remember that? You got the why they got to do this, man? When I was younger, my kid growing up, we watched the Toy Story. It was the Pixar animations. You know what I mean? And it's about toys that come alive, whatever. And it's it was okay. You know what I mean? But now they gotta throw wokeness into this crap. They have Buzz Lightyear, and I guess he's got a boyfriend now or something. What? Give me a break, man. So the haul was 21% lower than summer's seasons of 2019. The last year unattained, the whole lockdown thing, 19% lower than average the 2005 and 2019. So yeah, long story short with this is a lot of stuff about forbidden words we can't say on YouTube. But yeah, 21% dive this summer with these movies, these woke movies. So all the woke movies took a 21% collapse. And meanwhile, I forgot to report that Top Gun, Maverick, that movie, it's unwoke, okay? It's awesome movie, man. I went to go see it. What an awesome movie. But yeah, that was, now it's the number one hit in the box office right now is Top Gun Maverick. And it's there's a lot of masculinity in there, a lot of anti-woke stuff like that. Yeah, that's an awesome movie. I loved it. I'm not a fan of Tom Cruise in per se, you know what I mean? But he filled the pot good, whatever. But his personal life, his Scientology garbage and all that. The guy's a loony bin, you know what I mean? But however, the movie was awesome. If anybody likes fighter jets and stuff like that, that movie kicked butt, plain and simple. And I would definitely suggest to go see that in the movies because it's awesome watching it on the big screen, you know what I mean? I was always a fan of the Top Gun, especially the Iron Eagle movies. I love those movies. So, third world American, running sink spits out dirt in Mississippi. So, another example how the society declined inside of America. It looks like spaghetti sauce coming out of the sink. This is in Mississippi. So, somebody's not then doing their jobs at the water treatment places. You'd think with all the chlorine and chemicals they put in there, yeah. So in case you need more proof, America's in the society collapse, and the viral video shows a water faucet in Mississippi spitting out dirt. Some good old-fashioned mud water. Imagine how people used to drink that back then. It came out of the well, but I think that's a lot of rust. That's nasty. So I don't think you could even boil that. You have to get one of those survival kits there, the water purifiers. That's crazy, man. Sad to say though, I think it's I wouldn't drink it, but I think it is probably cleaner than municipality water with the fluoride in it. That's crazy, man. So that's in Mississippi. So I like to see, here's the thing too, is it just one house? My water is now in Jacksonville, Mississippi, so I like to see if anybody else is having a problem there. Here, because we're close to the, let me see. The hell is that? Click sample the water and got tested. I don't know what that's about. Yeah, so I don't know. Here's the thing, too. Is it just this guy's house? Could it be the apartment building? Because here's the thing. We have all had this problem when they're replacing pipes or something like that. They flush the systems out. The water would look like that. You know what I mean? Especially if the old pipes were rusting the pipes and all that. If you clean the pipes out, it's got to do that. It could be a number of reasons, but if that's actually coming from the actual city, that's a problem. So it doesn't say that. I try to look through there. It doesn't say that at all. So imagine that the whole city water's coming out like that. It could be just the house or whatever. You know what I mean? We don't even know the story behind that. But it is kind of interesting. So California's water-saving policies could start a mini dust bowl, and conserving groundwater could lead to dirty air in some of the state's most vulnerable communities there. So it look like the old Wild West. You got tumbleweeds rolling around, and Clint Eastwood. Down, down, down. Yeah, it's what California's becoming like. That's crazy, man. So, yeah, for a century, California's San Joaquin Valley has been called the foot basket of the world, and the 27,000 square mile region produces roughly $35 billion worth of food a year, and a productivity made possible by the large-scale irrigation projects and water pumping. In 2014, however, California passed a sustainable groundwater management, making it less a western state to regulate groundwater. And bringing the San Joaquin Valley into compliance with the law will be requiring at least 500,000 acres of its farmland in the next 20 years. Wow. So there they are. Well, yeah. There's a way to kill the farm. They're doing this all over the world. They are destroying farms all over the world, purposely. So what they do is like, oh, we can't take the farm over, so we're going to make this Sustainable Groundwater Management Act. So it's retiring at least 500,000 acres of farmland in the next 20 years. So because of this act going into effect, yeah, all this groundwater, they're not going to be able to use to water the crops. Therefore, the crops are not going to get out on the trucks or go to the shelves of the supermarkets or the production plants. So there's another lively way to take out the farms here in the United States. So why cities are banning cars around the world. So traffic has grown problem in many U.S. cities. Instead of adding more streets to accommodate cars, a growing movement is pushing to ban them in dense areas like New York City, and this would give more space for bike lanes and bus routes and pedestrian plazas, while also reducing noise and pollution. So CNBC, of course, you know what I mean? Oh, it's such a good thing. We should ban the cars, okay? And, you know, I was listening to this talk show, and I forgot what channel it was here in Rhode Island, and one of the hosts made sense, and I'm like, wow, I can't believe I didn't catch on to that. He goes, all right, California, right, which we reported here too, California, they passed a law, 2035, right, you will no longer be able to purchase a gas-powered vehicle in 2035 in the state of California, right? And he made a point. And he's like, wait a minute, hold on a second. Didn't they all say we're going to be dead in 11 years? By 2030, if we don't do something, this world's going to blow up. Whatever they're saying, right? So if we're supposed to be dead in 2030, right? Yeah. 5 years later, we're going to start driving all electric cars. Yeah. And this is the contradiction of these people. So they're going to push a 2030 agenda and telling everybody and the kids in school your parents didn't do nothing, turn the kids against the parents. Oh, your kids didn't do nothing, your parents, and we're going to be dead by 2030 because of global warming and climate change. But 2035, we're going to make everybody drive electric cars. Yeah. Yeah, okay, this is common core garbage, yeah. So if we're dead by 2030, whoever's alive will have to drive electric cars. Yeah, unreal. You can't make this stuff up, like Brian likes to say a lot. So they want to ban all cars around the world. And this is part of the Agenda 21, Agenda 2030. We talked about this a million times over the years. They want to ban vehicles. They come out and said this many, many years ago in their agendas. They want to ban all vehicles because here's the thing. They don't want you having the capability of traveling. They wanted to keep you in these, line cities that they're trying to create now, or Saudi Arabia, or these like zones there where they squeeze all the population into these mega cities. And you can't go outside those cities. You're not allowed on oceanfront property no more, in national forests no more, nothing like that. You got to stay within these mega zones there. Yeah, and that's what they're doing. They want to do that, and so they're going to ban the cars. And why do you think they're pushing the electric cars? Well, they know most people can't afford them. And California, again, contradiction after contradiction, right? So they want to push all electric cars in California, right, by 2035. But right now, right, what are they saying? Oh, during the Labor Day weekend, nobody charge your cars because we don't have enough electricity, and everybody needs to shut their house electric off from 4 p.m. I think it was 4 a.m. to 4 p.m. or something like that. So if you don't have enough electricity to produce for the regular infrastructure, how are you going to produce for these cars? People waiting hours in line to charge their cars in California. But you want to push all electric cars by 2035? And it's a Green New Deal to save the planet. Oh, yeah. Electric car goes and uses more minerals of the earth than regular cars, though, because of the lithium and everything else. And what do you think this electric comes from? How much greenhouse gases those electric power plants are putting out, especially the nuclear ones? Because that's what they're going to have to convert to all nuclear to be able to produce that kind of power. And you have all these corporate scum right around and Lear jets and all that. They'll be able to do that, right? Because they don't, God forbid they go on commercial airlines with the normal folks. So they want to ride around in that, but you can't ride a gas-powered vehicle. I got an SUV, and I'm going to go out and buy another one, too. So it's funny when you go through a liberal area, they're looking at you. Oh, guys with an SUV, he's polluting the planet, he's killing us. Oh, good. I'm going to rev my engine. There you go, suck some carbon dioxide. But yeah, they want to ban that. All cities are trying to move to that. Yes, even a lot of Republican ones too. That are part of the whole agenda. You know what I mean? And the thing is, American people, all over the world, they need to stand up and say, no, we're not gonna buy electric cars. Put them out of business. Those things are junk anyway. I mean, I could see if they recharge themselves, like some guy did. He put a alternator, on the car. So basically, when the car moves, the alternator charges the battery. That's genius. You know what I mean? But still, these batteries, the lithium batteries, are going like about $20,000 to replace the batteries in your car. Especially with the lithium shortage right now, they're going to go more. So California now an agricultural wasteland of rice farms. So rice fields are abandoned, which this should have been with this article here. So I'm sorry, guys. I usually try to tie the articles in together. So yeah, rice fields are abandoned in mini dust bowl. We actually just talked about this. All right, my bad. So this is like the same article, but same situation here. And a new satellite imagery shows a large swath of California's rice fields have been left barren without harvest as fears of mini dust bowl emerged due to diminishing water supplies. And that's when we just said that they want to, the agriculture, U.S. Department of Agriculture with the act for the underground water, they try to take out 550,000 acres of farmland. So Switzerland may jail people who turn heat above 66 degrees this winter. Yeah, part of this whole climate change initiative. Yeah, so the country of Switzerland says we might jail you if you turn your thermostat above 66 degrees this winter. And sometimes that ain't enough, man. If you set your thermostat at 70, right, and it's freaking freezing out, right, you're gonna have to set it, pretty high to accommodate for the heat to heat up the whole place, But this ain't enough, especially if you got a large house. So they're saying if you set it above 66 degrees, you could go to jail. And this ain't going to be limited to Switzerland. I'm sure places like California and all that are going to start implementing these things too. And people say, well, they're not going to know. Yeah, they are. If you have smart grid technology, like you have the smart meters on your house, they got to know. They got to know what you got your refrigerator set at. They're going to know everything. People say, well, how could they do that? Well, again, if you go outside and look at your house, if you got these digital smart meters in your house, they're going to know. And they can even control it from that too. So citizens of Switzerland who dare to turn their thermostats above the balmy 19 degrees Celsius to 66 degrees Fahrenheit over the winter may instead find themselves shivering in prison cells. So the cost of natural gas in Europe has increased more than tenfold amid the fallout from the Russian invasion of Ukraine. So the whole proxy war is causing all this. And see how it all works together. The problem reacts to solution. So they create chaos that just trickles through everything. The whole proxy war with the CIA, and they don't know that. They create this proxy war, and they could use it as an excuse to raise the gas prices and all the natural gas resources and all that stuff, which has really nothing to do with it. But they're doing this is all falling in line with the Great Reset. It's all strategically done that way. So, of course, I got to blame the proxy war here. And according to a report from the Swiss national outlet Blank, and the nation's federal law and national economic supply permits authorities to fine and imprison residents who consume too much gas if energy rationing becomes necessary, even though you're paying for it. Yeah, you got to go to jail. Oh, yeah, you got to, your elderly parents in the house or something that, could get sick real quick. People got pneumonia and you got a big house. You got to pump that heat to, heat the house, right? Yeah, they're going to come knock at your door, point guns to you and your family's face. Oh, you're going to jail. Well, you go to that 67 degrees. We're coming to put you in jail, or we'll give you a big fine. Yeah, and again, if you think this is going to be limited to Switzerland, you got another thing coming. And those who fail to comply with the temperature mandates could receive sanctions between 30 and 3,000 Swiss francs. It's equivalent of $31 to $3,090 of U.S. money. And a spokesman said that, so. And they received up to 3 years in prison. And those found with negligent violations could be forced to pay 180 days worth of fines. So beyond the temperature controls, residents will be unable to heat swimming pools, saunas, radiant heaters, or warm air tents, while hot water will not be allowed to reach temperatures above 60 degrees Celsius and 140 degrees Fahrenheit. The member states of the Swiss Confederacy in September 22nd to voice concerns over the law. So they're going to negotiate this here about this, what they're proposing. Crazy, huh? And you got U.S. Army recommends struggling soldiers to apply for food stamps. Yeah. And meanwhile, you serve in the military, right? And you have to go to this commerce. Even that's not enough. I mean, they have, on military bases, they have commerce stores that you could go there and do some shopping. You know what I mean? And the foods are really cheap. You know what I mean? So, commissary, I should say. Yeah, it's like, it's a supermarket for the military. And the things are real cheap prices. But even then, I mean, they can't afford that. They get, a recruit makes, you make more McDonald's, okay, than even a sergeant in the military. Not even joking. You don't make much money in the military unless you're a high-ranking officer. But as the Biden administration continues to pour billions into the Ukraine and caring for illegal immigrants, it seems that there's not enough money to feed its own military and their families properly. So the Army's now recommending people in the military to apply for food stamps. That's crazy, man. So, I guess illegals and Ukrainians are more important than not just you now, but our own military, too. Yeah, the military and their family is getting dirt pay for on top of it. He has a crazy thing, right? You put on a helmet, go fight for your country, right? You're getting paid dirt money, but you put on a helmet to go throw the football around for 16 games a year. You're getting paid millions of dollars. Don't get me wrong, I'm a football fan, but I'm just saying, you know what I mean? You got people out there getting like tens of millions of dollars just to throw a football, catch a football, right? And putting on a helmet 16 times a year minimum. But these guys have a helmet on 24/7, and and they get bullets thrown at them, not footballs. And they're getting paid like dirt. Crazy stuff, man. So, guys, this is my other YouTube channel, so we're going to go to a break. But, guys, go to this Brighteon Channel and put it in the chat here. So, do me a favor. I'll give you guys a second here. So, I just put in the chat room the link. So, could you please do this? Click on that link, right? And when you go, click on the link I put in the chat room. Just do it quick right now. Click on it, hit subscribe, then hit back. And it comes right back to the show here. So, click on that link, hit subscribe, and then just hit the back button. Even if you're on your phone, just do that, please. click the link, hit subscribe, and right back. Yeah, I'll give you a second. So you're not going to miss nothing. My email is truthradioshow@outlook.com. That's my email address. So yeah, guys, the link in the description, please just click on it, and it goes to my other page. And I want to see the subscription go up. So there's how many people in the chat right now? About 40 people in the chat. So right now, this is 200, right? And I know a lot of you guys already subscribed, so I want to see this number go up by the end of the show. So we'll see if some people subscribed already. So 2 people just subscribed. So guys, again, click that link and hit subscribe and hit back, and you'll be back here again. So I'm doing that for a reason, guys, because we are walking a thin line right here on this channel here. So I'm hoping and praying we could last until the end of October, where our strikes will go away. You know what I mean? So right now we're on 2, and 1 more, we're done. You know what I mean? So I don't want to see this channel get terminated, and because it took us a while to build this one up. They terminated our channel months ago, where we had over 20,000 subscribers, and we were working on 30 at the time. Then they just terminated the channel because all these community guideline strikes and everything else, and because you can't talk about certain things. So, DM4. Hang on a second. Let me see if I got that right. All right, guys, try this. Somebody said the link wasn't working, so try this link right here. DM said 404 not found. So, click that link right there. Thank you, MC Peculiar. Thank you, Terry. So I put the link in there again. So click there, hit subscribe. Sorry to be like this, guys. I just want to build that channel up because something happens here. This way you get the notifications. Hey, we're on here. And we also got a Rumble channel too. So if you got a chance later on, subscribe to that. That's in the description, which is going to be on Wednesday. We're going to be on Rumble. Yeah, thank you, guys. Yep, there we go. Going up 206. All right, good. All right, good. Sorry, guys. We're going to go to a break here. So where is it? My video. It was Greg Reese from Infowars.com, the dark, ugly past of climate crisis king. So we'll be right back.
The book has now arrived and is in our warehouse and is beginning to ship. The one book you must read this year, The Great Reset and the War for the World, by yours truly, Alex Jones. Available now.
Everyone says that today, the royal family is nothing more than a ceremonial figure, even though they choose the government, have final approval over all legislation, and own half the country. And so while we remember Queen Elizabeth, let us not forget how this incestuous family has used their own children to gain power. Parliamentary lawfare over trading rights between England and Scotland led to the first iteration of the United Kingdom in 1707 and created the legal groundwork for George of Hanover to be crowned King of England and Ireland in 1714. He was 55 years old, married to his first cousin, and didn't speak any English because he was from the German House of Hanover. The English people were not happy about this, and his coronation was met with riots all across the country, followed by years of rebellions. His grandson, King George III, inspired the American Revolution, and when his granddaughter Victoria married her first cousin, Prince Albert, the House of Saxe-Coburg and Gotha took sway over the country. Throughout the First World War, the people of England were questioning the loyalty of the German bloodlines who ruled over them, which prompted the royal family to change their name to Windsor in 1917. 9 years later, Queen Elizabeth was born, who was initiated into the Druid Order in 1946, married Prince Philip of Nazi bloodlines in 1947, and gave birth to Charles in 1948. In 2010, William Coombs, survivor of Canada's infamous residential schools, where the mass graves of children were found, claimed to have witnessed Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip visit the Kamloops Residential School in 1964, where they took 10 of the children away with them, never to return. A year later, William Coombs dies in the hospital. In 1988, Prince Philip told the German press that he hopes to be reincarnated, and his son, King Charles, likes to joke on television how he is related to Dracula.
His Royal Highness Prince Charles, who can trace his ancestry back to Romania's dark and distant past.
The genealogy shows that I'm descended from Vlad the Impaler, so I do have a bit of a stake in the country.
As it were.
These royals are the result of an incestuous breeding program wherein children were used as a way to gain power over the masses. So it's no surprise that they are caught up with the likes of Jeffrey Epstein, who made a living using children to leverage power, and Jimmy Savile, who had unfettered access to rape hundreds of children inside NHS hospitals and was a dear friend of King Charles. Along with Klaus Schwab, King Charles is a founder of the Great Reset. He's as green as Greta Thunberg, and last year he announced the need for a military-style campaign to bring the world to zero emissions.
Here we need a vast military-style campaign to marshal the strength of the global private sector. With trillions at its disposal, far beyond global GDP, and with the greatest respect, beyond even the governments of the world's leaders, it offers the only real prospect of achieving fundamental economic transition. So, how do we do it?
We know how they'll do it. By cutting off Europe's fuel and forcing the people back into the 1700s. Reporting for InfoWars, this is Greg Reese.
If this is true, then our country is in a lot of trouble.
We would have these trips, these special trips.
But he said my daddy takes the bodies to the grocery store and he grinds them up and puts it in the hamburger. And nobody ever knows it.
How can kids 6, 8, 10 years old be describing rituals that come from a book like the Book of the Dead? It's hard to get your mind around people being capable of this kind of evil.
This is Dan Bidondi of TruthRadioShow.com. I am honored to offer my listeners a 1-month free subscription to nystv.org. Subscribers will have access to thousands of NYST TV videos from spiritual warfare to biblical and occultic topics, banned from YouTube videos, and much more. Subscribe today on nystv.org and use the promo code DANTheMan and receive your first month free. All right, welcome back, guys. So, yeah, that's a good video by Greg Reese in the King. I'm related to the Imperia. I'm like, you're proud of that? You know what I mean? That's how these people are, these satanic scum. You know, this makes me sick, those people. Just like their voices make me cringe, you know what I mean? It's just like, ugh, you know, I just want to get up and pop them, you know what I mean? So I want to go to a quote of the day brought to you by MidstateGuns.com. It's Rhode Island's largest indoor shooting range located in Coventry, Rhode Island. Check them out, MidstateGuns.com. It's a gun range and gun store. So we do this like once a month at least. We try to bring education to the Second Amendment, because all the time when you hear the Second Amendment mentioned on the news or TV, they never show you the graphic. They never show you what the Second Amendment actually says. They'll have some lame interpreter, or lawyer, I should say, come on and say, "Oh, the Second Amendment isn't what people think it is." I'm a Harvard University graduate, when 1,000 other lawyers would disagree with this bloke. You know what I mean? But yeah, they'll bring this one cringed lunatic who calls himself a lawyer, and they'll never show this on TV. You know what I mean? Because this is what the Second Amendment actually is. And the thing is, that people, instead of actually going to see what the Second Amendment says or what it means, they'll listen to some joke on TV. But yeah, the Second Amendment, well-regulated militia, being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. So I got these, it's like I love these arguments now. I love when people, look, what does the first line say? What does the first line say? Well-regulated militia. Well, yeah, you're not a militia, so it only goes to the National Guard. I'm like, where does it say that? Well, the militia, no. The National Guard is a state-run militia, not a constitutional militia. There's a big difference between that, okay? A big difference. The people militia, and the thing is, it says the people's right to keep and bear arms. So we bring this up all the time. This is James Madison. So when he wrote the Second Amendment, he had to define every clause of the Second Amendment, so people could grasp what this is before it got approved and ratified in 1791. Okay, a well-regulated militia. He said, and I can bring up 100 quotes right now from founding fathers saying the people of the militia, not the National Guard, not the military or the police. So, well-regulated militia, right? It says, this is James Madison's definition, which is the author, all right? A militia, when properly formed, are in fact the people themselves, whose ability to act in both personal and common defense must be well maintained. Because it's the people's duty, and if you read the second paragraph of the Declaration of Independence, it's the people's duty to overthrow the government if they're not doing their job. And to do that, that's what the Second Amendment was created for, to give them the power and authority to do that, and the means necessary. So being necessary to the security of a free state means to be secure in personal liberty, the state of being free, and of governance of the free people, the state securing the rights of a free people. Do you see military in there, National Guard, or police? No, you see people. People. The right of the people, right? The right of people, the whole of the people. That's everybody. An individual right independent of government. Like, government has no authority to touch us. Like, when you start off with the Bill of Rights, First Amendment says the Congress has no authority to touch these things at all. And people say, well, it's an amendment, they could do this. And no. The first 10 amendments is called the Bill of Rights. They're above government's reach. All three branches of government together could not even touch them with a 10-foot pole. It keeps government in check. These are people's God-given independent rights, plain and simple, inalienable rights. So to keep and bear arms, and now there's some blokes will go out there, so it doesn't mean AR-15s or semi-automatic weapons. Yeah, it means exactly just that. Because to keep and bear arms, right, the right of it, check this out, to own and carry arms of what? Does it say, just muskets? No. To own and carry arms of whatever type necessary. Whatever type necessary. So if the enemy's got an AR-15, you need an AR-15. If they got an AK-47, you need an AK-47. Plain and simple. So to own and carry arms of whatever type necessary to effectively provide for personal defense and defense against tyranny. So next time some joke of a lawyer or some jerk out there says, you don't know what the Second Amendment means and all that, it's only for the National Guard, or you tell them to go blow smoke. So, shall not be infringed. This is the magic word that people in the state and federal governments seem to not understand, and the ATF and all that. Shall not be limited. Okay, you can't limit what people can have. You can't regulate what people can have. You can't federally excessively tax or encroach upon in any manner what people have. Shall not be infringed. That's bottom line. So now going back to the Second Amendment, a well-regulated militia is the people being necessary to the security of the free state to protect their liberties and keep them in a free state, and which is the country in general, not a state in where you live in. The state we talk about in this case is the entire country. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed, okay? Not regulated. You can't say, well, you can own that, but you can't have more than 10 rounds in your magazine. Yeah, I'll have 100 rounds in my magazine. There's not a damn thing you got to do about it. Oh, you can't own an AR-15. Well, guess what? I'm going to own 2 AR-15s. And as we reported last week, it was awesome, man. 37 weeks straight, 37 months, 37 months straight, the American people have purchased at least 1 million or more weapons. Last month in August was 2.6 million guns were bought in the United States, yeah. In 1 month. It's awesome, you know what I mean? So the more the government says, oh, you can't have this, we're going to put restrictions and that, the American people, Democrats, Republicans, whoever, everybody's saying, no, we're going to have guns, we're going to buy more. You want to call for to restrict our guns? Yeah, we're going to buy 10 times more. That's what you need to do, guys. Keep hitting them right in the face, literally. Say, hey, we're going to buy more guns, more ammo. The more you call for regulation, the more we're going to do that. You can't, they have no authority to regulate anything. People need to understand that. In the ATF, the federal government, some state governments, you have no authority to do so. And the people, American people, need to stand the hell up and say, hey, you over my dead body, you're taking it. Plain and simple. That's the message that needs to be portrayed to federal and state governments that try to go after your gun rights. Because I don't know about you all, but I don't want to be a victim of a Holocaust. You know what I mean? And 6.5 million Jews perished because they couldn't defend themselves. Yeah, I don't know about you all, but I don't want to be one of them. You know what I mean? And if those poor Jews out there back in the 1900s, if they had guns to defend themselves, there was no way in hell. They would have overtook the Nazis easily. The thing is, the Nazis had guns, they didn't. That's not just the Jews too. It was people in Poland, the German citizens too. A lot of them perished. People in Russia, all over the place. You know what I mean? Were victims of their own country. Many third world countries too. Same thing in African countries where they killed off their own people. And they still do that today. You know what I mean? It's crazy, man. So Canada, stabbing suspects has died in custody. Police say. So in Toronto, right, a fugitive stabbing suspect, Miles Sanderson, died in police custody after 4-hour manhunt was in the province of Saskatchewan on the edge of police said. So the guy Sanderson, 32 years old, and his brother, Damien Sanderson, were charged with murder and stabbing attacks in James Smith and Cree Nation and nearby village of Creeton. And on Sunday, that killed 10 people and wounded 18 in Canada, right? Now, here's the thing, right? These gun grabbers are like, oh, we got to take guns off the street. There will be no more mass murders, right? No more mass shootings, right? All right, you take guns away, right? Look what just happened. "28 people were victims from a knife. 2 people with knives. 10 of them died. 28 people were stabbed by these 2 maniacs with knives. So you got to tell me guns are a problem? There was, another one. I think this girl was woman in China. One woman. Like, I think she stabbed over 30-something people by herself. Mass stab, went around stabbing people left and right. Yeah, but the guns are a problem. And this stuff happens all the time. Mass stabbings. Somebody runs through a crowd of people with a truck or something, killing tons of people or hurting them. But yeah, guns are the problem. That's what they want you to believe. You know what I mean? It's crazy, man. So these guys are going to jail. We reported this last week, too. A mass stabbing, 28 people. They ran around just stabbing people left and right. And 10 of them died. And these same Democrats are hypocrites, right? They got guns, but they don't want you to have them. We need to take these guns off the street, like this wacko here, right? But yeah, guns were stolen from her home in Los Angeles, Democrat mayor candidate Karen Bass. Running for mayor, she preached strong gun control, too. And her guns got stolen from her home. That's called a hypocrite. You know, she's supposed to lead by example. But it's funny because all these politicians who are anti-gun, right? They got guns themselves or have armed security. Yeah, contradiction. Seems like there was a lot of contradictions coming out of California. So Los Angeles Mayor candidate Karen Bass announced that she came home Friday night to find her home broken into and her 2 firearms were stolen. So they said she called the police, and at the time it appears that only 2 firearms, despite being safely and secured stored, were stolen. Oh yeah, I thought safe and secured was going to solve everything, but yeah, they were stolen. Cash, electronics, and other valuables were not. All right, so anyways, starting to read through the lines here. All right, so somebody's going to break into this woman's house, right? Only stealing 2 of her guns. Despite that they were being safely secured and stored, right? Were stolen. But they didn't touch the cash, the electronics, or other valuables. Is anybody not reading through the lines here? Yeah. Because that's what, because they're pushing the Safe Storage Act, right? So they say, well, it's not enough now because people are still stealing them. So we need to ban them altogether. That's to read through between the lines. That's what they're doing. That's the story. I guarantee no guns got stolen. So if somebody broke into the house and just to steal her guns, she probably misplaced. So I think this is a bogus story. So nobody stole her cash, nothing like that. Valuables and electronics. No, just broke and stole the guns. And she had to say, oh, they were safely stored and all that and secured. So they could go on legislation and say, look at the man candidate. Oh, the Safe and Storage Act didn't even work with her. So now we're going to have to say, you know what, we need to ban them all together. Now, that's what they're doing. Now, if you can read between the lines, I guarantee they'll come up with some legislation to even attack that. Even people store their guns properly. So this was during a spring primary debate. Today's news is someone stealing 2 firearms from her home. Yeah, you read between the lines. Yeah, you can see what the agenda's about. So Ammo Magazine saying that UPS threatens to cancel service for most gun industries. So UPS's anti-gun senator blames UPS and other carriers for epidemic of gun violence. So now they're attacking. Here's the thing. They attack the gun companies, right? They don't get anywhere. They attack the ammo companies. They don't get nowhere. So now what they're doing is attacking the shippers. So a company like UPS and FedEx and all that, they're saying, oh, how dare you ship ammunition? So in Atlanta, Georgia, UPS has stepped up its anti-gun campaign by requiring online sellers to ship an average of 50 handguns daily to use second-day service. And sellers who do not ship at least 350 guns a week risk losing their shipment accounts. And it's under the new agreement, UPS is required to give customers a 10-day notice before cutting them off from the shipping service. So the notice was sent to UPS customers that deal in firearms. And UPS is under pressure from anti-gun groups and politicians to stop doing business with gun industry. And again, yeah, this the anti-gun is trying to go after another company. You know what I mean? So in the UPS, you got to learn one thing. If you go woke, you go broke. Remember that. Remember they attacked the NRA. Now they got almost 2 million more members. And this new move appears to be the way UPS can cut ties with most of the industry without jeopardizing their major accounts. So the letter also references updating its policies to be in line with the ATF and state regulations, and reference must be likely refers to new rules surrounding privately manufactured firearms, but UPS goes much further than they required by law. So they canceled the account of a seller who sells 80% lowers. And a shipping giant notified Ghost Firearms of Florida would stop shipping from the company. So yeah, they got all kinds of regulations. They got tons of them. If you guys want to read through there, and I know there's some Second Amendment people in the chat room, so I'm gonna put that link in the chat room if you want to check that out. And it doesn't stop there. So credit card companies are doing the same now. So credit card companies are getting threatened by the woke mafia. So guns bought through credit cards in the United States will now be trackable. So credit card purchases of firearms in the U.S. can be tracked and purchased, deemed suspicious, even be shared with law enforcement according to new measures approved by the organization that sets parameters for business transactions. So you go buy a firearm legally and all that, use a credit card, yeah, they're going to submit the information to law enforcement and mark it as suspicious. So the International Organization of Standards, ISO, voted in favor of creating a merchant code for firearm stores according to the Reuters. And the merchant codes are 4-digit codes that categorize retailers across the industry. Until now, gun purchase has been classified under miscellaneous retail stores and sporting goods. So they, when you bought them, they just said it was a sporting good, in the credit card statement. And numerous top-level credit card companies such as PayPal, Stripe, and Square don't allow gun purchases. For the credit companies to do that, allow the purchases, the costs can be extra high due to interest. So some of these companies, you can't buy a gun with your credit card. So see how they're attacking the Second Amendment now? So they're going after the shipping companies now to force them, to put a lot of pressure on them. And I don't want to. Why are these people bowing to the pressure of these people? Don't they realize once you go woke, you go broke? And if some group come up and tell me, oh, we don't like why if you're promoting guns, well, guess what? I'm going to do it even more now. I'm not going to bow to your wokeness. The other thing is going to be bowing is my knee to your face. Okay, plain and simple. How's that sound? So, yeah, they're putting a lot of pressure on UPS and the credit card companies, even Visa, MasterCard, Amex, American Express, to begin categorizing sales of U.S. gun stores. And payment processors say they will adopt International Organization for Standards, new merchant code for gun sales. A move for gun control advocates say will help better track suspicious surges of gun sales. And repeating from a lot of the prior article there, but yeah, they want to track everything. You know what I mean? And say, oh, this one bought 2 guns, which is normal. A lot of people buy 2-3 guns at once, and this guy bought 2-3 guns, so we're gonna mark it suspicious. Yeah, you have to be a legal citizen. You have to have a clean record to buy a gun in a gun store. So now it's up to the people to say, all right, in the Second Amendment community is large. 100 million people. So would you tell your credit card company, so listen, I'm not going to deal business with you. What do you mean? Oh, yeah, you need to call these people. You need to get on the phone with these customer service and all that and tell them, say, no, we're not going to do business with you anymore. If you prevent me from going to the store to buy a gun, PayPal or something, or if you you target me, and put suspicious activity on my credit card, I'm not going to use you no more. There's a million other credit card companies out there. Or you're going to see a lot of people using the cash option now. That's why they're trying to eliminate cash and push the digital currency, so they know everything you have. So for now, I would say, hey, go do a cash withdrawal from your credit card and go to the gun store and buy your gun. So Chicago shootings this week, 30 shot. This is normal Chicago, right? And you would think this would be headline news. I say this every Monday. 30 people shot, 4 were killed in this weekend in the city of Chicago, right? 30 shot. Now when you hear of a nightclub getting shot up, 12 people died, 20 kids in the school got killed, this is not international media, right? You don't hear this anywhere else. You don't see this on CNN or anything. The gun violence epidemic in Chicago because of gun control, where innocent people can't defend themselves. And if you got caught with a gun, if you're a law-abiding citizen, you got caught with a gun in Chicago, yeah, you're going to jail. They're going to lock you up and throw the okay. But however, T-Bone and Tyrone down the street that's running the gang, you know what I mean? They're running around with guns, automatics, everything else. They're running around with all kinds of guns. But you can't defend yourselves. And the results of that every weekend, especially in the summer, it's brutal in Chicago. 30 people shot and 4 killed in Chicago. And at least 30 people have been shot and 4 fatally shot in shootings across Chicago since Friday night, police said. And there's a list of... every week the same people get up on the stage. There's a Chicago Police Department get up and say... Then they'll blame, and the politicians are up, like Mayor Lightfoot, Beetlejuice, she'll come out and say, oh, this is why we need stronger gun control. You don't get stronger gun control than Chicago and D.C. and Baltimore, too, and Los Angeles. You don't get stronger gun control than that. But isn't it funny because those are the 4 biggest cities of gun violence? 4 of the biggest cities in the country that pride themselves on gun control, right? The strongest and strictest gun control in the country, but yet they have the highest crime and murder rates. And all those people out there, some jerks and blokes out there will say, the Republican cities. Oh, yeah. Show me one Republican city. And I'm not, I don't go with the right-wing, left-wing crap. But show me one Republican city that has 30 people shot in one weekend. Show me one. I'll wait. Because what they do is they try to say, it's the states, right? And so they try to categorize these by states. So look, the red states have more killings. No, it doesn't play like that. You got to go by the cities, not the states. Because if you took Chicago out of Illinois, right, Illinois would be a decent state, you know what I mean? Or low crimes. But it's because of Chicago that makes it look bad. Like here in Rhode Island, right? It's Providence mainly that makes us all look bad, you know what I mean? So we're going to go by the cities, okay? And these progressive run cities have the highest crime and murder rates. New York, too. New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, Baltimore, even Hartford, Connecticut. It's just horrible, you know what I mean? And it's site Hey Jackass, and it shows it's a website that shows all the gunshots, all the people get killed in Chicago, and to date. That's all the stats here. Each county, everything. How many people were shot and how many people killed. Every little stat you can imagine. So, to date, this is crazy, man. It's 2,562 people shot in 1 year in Chicago. That's more than... Think about that, right? The Afghanistan war, right? The Iraqi war, I don't think there was 2,000 of our people shot. But this is normal in Chicago. Last week's total, look. 15 people killed in Chicago last week. 60 shot and wounded. Total 75 people shot in Chicago. Since the beginning, here we are, it's 9/12. September 12th, and already 75 people shot in September. And this is what they want. They want gun control, right? Yeah, all over the country. So every city is going to have these kind of stats if you push gun control. Because gun control only affects us, the law-abiding citizens. It doesn't affect the criminals. You know what I mean? I don't know how many times I'm going to say that. So I did a poll in the chat room here. And the poll says, do you support the people's right to keep and bear arms and gun rights, Second Amendment? So I put, which is the options is yes, the Second Amendment keeps us free. I put keep up free. Or it keeps us free. I'm sorry, a typo here. And no one should own guns, yes with restrictions, or for police and military only. So 2% said yes with restrictions, and 98% people said yes, the Second Amendment keeps us free. Not up free, us free. Typo, yeah. So 61 people voted on that. So thank you guys for the poll on that. So, yeah. So anyway, we are complete with our news here. So we're going to move to biblical studies here. So basically what we'd like to do is finish the show with some Bible studies, quick little Bible studies here to, which related to what's going on too, So Ephesians 5, 11 and 14. And this is what this verse here is what we're supposed to do. I mean, you're not going to find this in your regular Sunday worship in 501c3 church. They tell you, don't worry about nothing. Just sit in the pews and pray. Nothing bad's going to happen to us. We're going to be caught up in Marty McFly's rapture school bus. It's dispensational garbage. You know what I mean? Heck, they even tell the people, oh, you don't have to obey the Ten Commandments. It's only for the Jews. Wrong. So anyway, our job is to expose the deeds of evil. I mean, that's why I got my Spiritual Warfare Friday show, me and Brian's now, and that's what we do. You know what I mean? So Ephesians 5, 11 and 14 says, take no part in the unfruitful works of darkness, but instead expose them. In other words, don't take part of evil, expose them. Know them and expose them. For it is shameful even to speak of these things that they do in secret. But when anything is exposed by the light, it becomes visible. For anything that becomes visible is light. Therefore, it says, awake, O sleeper, and arise from the dead, and Christ will shine on you. So, to bring this evil into the light, that's what we do on Spiritual Warfare Friday shows. And also the Midnight Ride on Saturday nights, and also Breaking Babylon on Sundays. So that's what we do. We expose the deeds of evil. We bring this dark stuff into the light. And for everyone who does evil, hates the light, and doesn't come to the light for fear that his deeds will be exposed. It's John 3:20. And that's so true. Everybody that does evil hates the light. All these secret societies and everything we expose on the Spiritual Warfare Friday, we expose the occult, all that stuff. Those people hate the light. And they stay away from the light because they fear that their deeds will be exposed. That's our job, guys, is expose the deeds of evil. And Luke 12:2 says, for there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known. So, and this is this verse here I stole from the Midnight Ride, this picture here, because David Carrico, I agree with him 100%. Yeah, I've been saying the same thing for years. I believe that this evil stuff has to somehow come out and say what they're gonna do. There's just something that they have to say they're gonna do. They could do it any which way, through movies, to programming and all this other stuff, predictive programming and all that. They have to state what they're gonna do, and brings the stuff into the light. You know what I mean? They'll write white pages about the Agenda 2030 and all this other stuff we talk about, how they're gonna push a new world order. You heard Klaus Schwab on the video we just played. They're gonna use by force, push people into a new world order. That's their plans to do that. But when you talk about it, you're a conspiracy theorist, they'll laugh at you, and a bunch of ignorant trolls will laugh at you. Tell you to put your tinfoil hat on, even though they come out and write books on the stuff. They come out with white pages. They sit there at the TED Talk conference there, say what they're going to do to us. You know what I mean? And I can't mention some of the stuff here on YouTube, but yeah. They come out and brag about it, you know what I mean? And then when you expose it to the people, because people too docile don't even understand it, you're some kind of lunatic conspiracy theory. Then it's years later when you got half the people that you told, oh, Dan, yeah, you were right. Oh, man, I'm so sorry. I thought you went back crap crazy. You were right about everything. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So what do you think about saying they're telling you for my health or for your amusement? You know what I mean? There's a great risk at this stuff. You know what I mean? And people don't understand that. There's a great risk. If somebody's there trying to tell you something, man, they're taking a great risk to do that. Number one, socially. You know how many friends and family I lost from doing this stuff? How many relationships I lost from this? Countless, okay? All that stuff together. You're taking a great risk doing this stuff, guys. And nobody's going to come out and do this for fun. Or to make money or whatever. There's no money in this stuff. The only money we do get is for people generously help us, with our PayPal, whatever, to, pay the rent here at the studio. But we're not living off the hog of millions of dollars and nothing like that. When, now if you tell lies, and if you can read from a teleprompter, if you can read perfectly and articulate from a teleprompter, right, and you have no problem telling people lies, heck, go get a job with the mainstream media. You'll make tons of money. But, I'd rather not make tons of money and tell the truth. You know what I mean? Plain and simple. Because I don't have to face God for that, man. And Romans 14:11 says, for it is written, as I live, says the Lord, every knee shall bow to me and every tongue shall confess to God. Then there's another verse where it says, every knee will bow and every tongue will confess that Jesus is Lord. So it is written. And here's the thing, too. And people watching right now might not be a believer or they're into the occult, something like that. It's like, and the thing is, it's regardless what you believe or think or what you think you got to do, every tongue is going to confess to Jesus that he is Lord. Every knee's going to bow. Every knee in the pits of hell. Every knee in the eventual lake of fire. Every soul will bow to Jesus Christ and confess that he's Lord. Even the most evil people in the world that ever lived, okay, they're going to confess to Jesus Lord. Demons already do. And when you even get to the demonology, man, when Matthew and also the book of Luke when it talks about when Jesus confronted a man possessed with a legion, which is a bunch of demons, a legion of demons into one person. Very powerful, right? Nobody could contain him. As soon as Jesus stepped off the boat, that thing stopped dead. Seen him from a distance, like they felt the presence of Jesus, right? And now people try to chain this guy, contain him, and nobody had a chance. I mean, he broke chains and all kinds of stuff. And as soon as Jesus came, stepped off that boat into the land, they're like, ding, just stopped dead. And they ran to him. They ran to Jesus, begging and pleading, "Oh, Jesus, don't send us away before our time." You know what I mean? And that shows you how powerful he is. That evil, that vicious and all that, but just the mere sight or mention of Jesus Christ, they come to attention real quick because they know. The thing is, these demons, if you don't know what a demon is, I'll be short with this, yeah. If you don't know what a demon is, guys, are the disembodied spirits of the Nephilim. So the Nephilim were the fallen angels' children. So when God flooded the earth and also had the Nephilim killed, instead of the souls going to hell, okay, God says we're going to be cursed to the earth to roam forever. So basically they're roaming the earth. They still hunger. They still thirst. They still lust, okay, but they can't do nothing. That's why they're... Imagine going through eternity, thirst and hunger and like having sexual urges and all that. Yeah. That would drive you nuts, right? And that's what that punishment is right now. And those are called demons today. And there's many different forms of demons too. There's jinn spirits. We could get into unclean spirits. There's all kinds of them. Not just them, you know what I mean? So that's what those are, But even the demons, the demons know the Bible. The demons know Jesus Christ, you know what I mean? So it doesn't matter who you are, what you think you are, or no, okay? You will confess one way or another, okay, that he's the Lord, plain and simple. So guys, if you like the show, we got a PayPal, Venmo, and a CashApp. 3 different ways to help support our operation. And it pays for the streaming service on Rumble and the rent here and all that good stuff and equipment. And right now I'm trying to raise some extra money too because I want to try to get Brian... equip him up with some good equipment too because we're tag teaming the Spiritual Warfare Friday, so we all need to work together and all that stuff. So we're trying to use the funds that we do get to build these channels up and build everything that we got up, the equipment and everything else. So again, the links are in the description, and thank you guys for supporting us, who's been supporting us financially and also spiritually. Number one before money, spiritually is pray for us, guys, and like, share, and subscribe too. And Friday night, guys, we got a new Spiritual Warfare show. It's me and Brian Reese. And this week, we're going to be talking about... I actually got the title right here. So a couple weeks ago, me and Trey Harris did a show on symbolism, monuments and everything else. So it's called The New Babylon Resurrection of Nimrod. So that's going to be a show this week here. And if you don't know anything about that, guys, that's pretty much explains it all. The Washington Monument. So, yeah, right now we're working on the thumbnail and all that for that. So, it's basically exposing the Washington Monument, which has nothing to do with George Washington and other monuments all over the world and country. And basically what they're trying to do is that this is new modern day Babylon, you know what I mean? So what they're trying to do is they're trying to resurrect Nimrod, known as Osiris, you know what I mean? Which will be the Antichrist, you know what I mean, through the bloodline. It's not Nimrod himself, it's the bloodline for it. And to do this, they're erecting all these monuments and everything else, and the Washington Monument has nothing to do with Washington. And real quick with that, man, the monument from the ground up is 555 feet tall, and from the ground down is 111 feet. That's 666. And 555 is death and resurrection in Egyptian numerology. And we got all this Egyptian stuff in Washington, D.C., Paris, France, the Vatican. They got tons of obelisks. They got obelisks here in Rhode Island, you know what I mean? All over the place. And when you drive through a graveyard, right? Next time you drive by a graveyard, me and my friends, we like to play called Can You Spot the Freemason? So you go through a graveyard, whatever, you'll see these obelisks, you know what I mean, in the graveyard. Those are from Freemasons. The lodge, when a Mason dies, the lodge buys them, the tomb for them, the tomb or the gravestone, which is usually obelisk, which is Nimrod's golden pieces. That's what it is. It's a phallic symbol. So that's coming up Friday, guys. So also catch the content over at NIAC TV, and we got a brand new show, Rip It Wednesday night Rip It. Me, Brian, I think who's on this week? I think John Pound is coming back on again, but me, Brian, and John Hall. So, yeah, we have guests on here and there. But it's just a fun show, guys. It's the channel's on the Remnant Restoration. So, actually, we made a new channel for it, but we'll get the links for that. So, yeah, thank you guys for joining the show tonight. And let's say hello to the chat room. Judgment comes to the church for us, and when Yeshua rules and firmament like skulls be risen and changed in the kingdom. Amen, LG Angelo. And yeah, Francine, Catherine, Red Lamore, LJ, Bill, Valerie, thank you for moderating the chat tonight. And Catherine, what's up, everybody? Tactical Billy, Bob is also here too. RWG, what's up? Trey Harris, what's up, brother? And we're gonna have Trey Harris back on in probably a couple weeks or whatever. So it's gonna be pretty pretty fun. Okay, try to spit the words out here. Pretty fun. Trey Harris is gonna come back in a few weeks, I believe, and we're gonna do some cool show. Me, him, and Brian. That'll be an awesome show. So Trey Harris, guys, if you want to catch his show, he's got Course Correction Radio. If you go in the links right near the bottom, you'll see Course Correction Radio. Please subscribe to his channel, man. He's got an awesome channel. Also subscribe to Brian's channel too. Visual Disturbance. And yeah, Trey, I would love to have you back on again soon. We'll talk. And what's up, James? What's going on, brother? What's up, Mountain Creek? All right, guys, and what's up, everybody else who I missed? And so, all right, guys, love you all. God bless, shalom, and we'll see you Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday on Wednesday night Rip It at 7 p.m. Eastern, and also here, Rumble on the Dan Bidondi show. So we're gonna be interviewing my buddy. I guess he had a problem with CPS. So I guess the allegations and charges were dismissed, and please consider reading the update on the corrupt CPS and the police department, I guess. So he had an issue with him and his family, Mr. McGaffin there. So we'll have him on the show. So, all right, guys, we'll talk to you soon. God bless, shalom, and you are the resistance. Declaring war on the New World Order. TruthRadioShow.com. Thank you for supporting TruthRadioShow.com in our continuous fight against the New World Order. If you want to donate and help contribute toward our daily news show and our spiritual warfare ministries, contribute any amount to the following links in the description. That's our PayPal, our Venmo, or our CashApp. Or just simply take out your camera and scan the code bars on the screen. And we thank you once again for help supporting the fight against the New World Order. And remember, you are the resistance. God bless. Defending liberty in the spirit of 1776. It's Dan Bidondi on TruthRadioShow.com.